Hello, my name's Mark from the Australian Seniors Computer Clubs Association, and today we're going to talk about whether tablets can replace computers. For many people, smartphones and tablets have replaced a lot of things. Landline phones, calculators, cameras, CD players, photo albums, a watch, newspapers, a compass, a torch, game consoles, and I'm sure you can think of lots of other things. But can they replace computers as well? Well, can a tablet replace a computer? In a word, really, no, they can't. Computers are better in a lot of ways. You've got a keyboard and a mouse, which makes it more accurate for typing and clicking on things. You've got a big screen. My screen at home's 4 times the size of a tablet at least. Large storage. This drive here, 8 terabytes, amazing size in this picture. Powerful processors for video and graphics work and gaming and storing large documents and working on them. CD drives and DVD drives to play movies and burn discs. You got ports that can attach all sorts of devices like other screens, extra screens. This particular picture of ports I've got here has got 4 USB ports plus a few others for external drives, HDMI, all those sort of things. You can attach all sorts of devices to it, anything you can think of: scanners, printers, graphics tablets, a card reader. On the computer, you can get professional software for business applications, things like Office and Photoshops, and custom programs that have been made, particularly for your business. And one aspect, especially if you've got a desktop with a big box, they're easier to modify and repair. If you're a bit of a hobbyist, you can possibly even fix it yourself. But the question is, do you really need the capabilities of a computer? If you really need them, then a tablet would never do. But think of it like a car. A small hatchback can't replace a 4-wheel drive, but then not everybody needs a 4-wheel drive. Many people, like me, have both a computer and a tablet. But could I get by with just a tablet? Well, having a look at the way that tablets have been sold, the Apple iPad came on the market in 2010 and really made tablets take off. There had been ones before. There was even a Windows XP tablet edition, but never really took off, mainly because they were just a different style. The iPad worked with your finger, not with a stylus. And as you can see, these figures are a little bit estimated, but they give you the idea. Really, at the end, tablets haven't really taken over from computers, as it shows you on the end here in terms of sales, but they certainly have created a whole new market. And then Android tablets appeared on the market in 2011, and by 2012, one of the magazines said that 31% of US internet users owned a tablet. So 30% of the people that are on the internet were using a tablet after only a couple of years. In 2014, last year, worldwide tablet sales were over 250 million and about equal with PC sales. How have things changed? Well, until recently, the computer was the king. This is how we worked. You remember this. You probably had a computer desk like this yourself. I certainly had one. We sat at our desk facing the wall with wired connections, everything connected up with the wire, with the printer and things like that, or the internet. We used mains power, so you couldn't really move it anywhere without a long cable, and we needed a powerful processor. We paid a bit for the programs we had, and we used disks to install them. Even a program that made Christmas cards might cost $50. Freeware and shareware were at low risk. Often I used to run classes where we'd recommend a lot of free and shareware programs that we could that were no problem. You could install them, you wouldn't have a problem with them. Now it's not quite the same. We stored things on large hard drives. Until I got rid of my desktop, I had 6 terabyte of storage in it. And we stored things on CDs and DVDs, although they mightn't go as far these days. Printed copies, you want to give somebody something, you gave them a printed copy, or photos were done printed. Email, that was the main communication system. And we had a separate camera with for music and books. So we had a separate camera, a separate music player, books were separate. And now, well, not only are we using digital devices differently, we've even got a better looking boyfriend or girlfriend. The trends at the moment are you can work anywhere with wireless connections. I'm sure most people have Wi-Fi or experience Wi-Fi that was invented by the Australian CSIRO. One of the ideas of working anywhere is great. Just like these two people in the picture, the greatest portability of some things like tablets is to get away from that desk and sit on the couch. We've got battery power that lasts. I'm sure things like the iPad wouldn't be so popular if they had the same short battery power that computers have. Most laptops, most older laptops would probably only last 2 hours off the mains power. So by the time you got sat down and organised, it was starting to complain. And now we don't seem to need the power processors. The apps that we use aren't as powerful, and the computers don't need as much power, and even the operating systems don't need as much power. And we can get free or cheap apps from the online store. You don't have to go up the road and buy something. In fact, if you go to places like Officeworks or Harvey Norman, you're lucky to see any software apart from, say, Microsoft Office or Photoshop in a box. It's all got to be got online. And a lot of apps are just free. Computer freeware is high risk. I used to recommend a lot of freeware to people and tell them that this was a good program to use. Now most of them seem to have some sort of stuff that will install, that will hijack your browser or hijack your search box or change your home page. So nowadays, for most of the time, you've got to be very careful, and even ones that you didn't have to be careful with before, you probably have to be careful now. We've got cloud storage. I've got a fair bit of all my photos stored in the cloud. So I don't really need the space on my device to do it, because the photos took up about 100 gig storage. I couldn't fit that on the phone, but I can see them. Or we just rent things and don't need the disk. We're sending more and more things by electronic, like this has been sent electronically, and also things like PDF files and emailing documents rather than sending a printed copy. Email still works just as good as it used to, but now we've also supplemented it with messaging, instant messages, especially on phones, and using social media to send a message to people. And now a lot of our things, especially if we've got a phone, has an integrated camera, and it will play music, and you can read books on it as well. A bit more about portability. If you look at the weight of these things, an iPad Air 2, the latest model, 9.7-inch screen, 437 grams, whereas a HP laptop like I've got at home, 15.6-inch screen, much bigger screen, but 2.54 kilos, well, more than 5 times the weight of carrying that tablet around. So even though the laptop's more capable, it's still a big thing to lug around. Plus, when you've got something that heavy, you'll need a bag, and it probably will need to take the charger as well, because it won't last all day. And you may also want a mouse and a couple of other things as well. And then once you've got a bag, you start sticking other things in it. Even the MacBook Air on the right, 11.7 inch screen, is still over a kilo, is still twice the weight. So tablets are small and light with a long battery life. I think that's part of their appeal. Sometimes I hear people say that once they get a tablet, they don't use their computers as much anymore. They still got it, but they don't use it as much. Internet capability. Nowadays, you don't just have to sit in front of your computer to use the internet. People want portable internet. They want to be able to look up great sites like the ASCCA site anywhere they go. One of the main reasons for having a computer these days is to use the internet. At one time it was to use programs that were already on it or type out a letter so you could send it. For many people, the tablet will do what they want. Looking at websites, using email, sending messages, using social media. And the added bonus is you got Wi-Fi, so you don't need cords. Those always the PowerPoint seemed to be on the opposite side of the room to where you want to sit, and you would try it with a computer, even a laptop. You're trailing cords across the room. And if you've got one with cellular, like a SIM card for phone, it's even more independent. And portable internet is really the go. If you look at some of these apps here, there's the football one where you can find the score out anywhere you are. The weather app that tells you the weather where you are. You've got Google, you've got Facebook. And with tablets, the apps and data uses are optimized for just using this lower bandwidth. On computers, downloading files and updates can use a lot of data. This is why computers don't come with SIM cards. The updates would kill you in terms of internet bills. Although Wi-Fi is slower than wired, for most purposes, most people won't notice the difference. Now we've got just coming out is what's called wireless AC, and it's just as fast as the cabled internet. And anyway, most people's internet connection is slower than Wi-Fi anyway, so the Wi-Fi is probably waiting on their internet anyway. Now, if you need the very fastest speeds and you have to transfer a lot of data, well, then you might have to just have a computer. Probably one of the best things is that they're fun and easier to use. You just have to use your finger. It's always ready. If you use it properly and just switch off the screen when you're not using it, it's going to be always ready, an instant startup, no need to shut it down. You can buy apps from an online store, a huge choice for iPad and Android, more than 1.2, 1.4 million apps to choose from, whereas Windows 8 has a lot less, but surely over time they will start to catch up. The problem, of course, with Windows is the phone apps and the Windows 8 apps aren't the same. And you might hear in the Microsoft talks that they work universal apps that can work on everything. Some of these apps here, we've got maps. What would we do without Google Maps? Games like Candy Crush Saga, eBay that I use from time to time. This little game where you can cut people's hair and even get your own picture on one of the versions. Ancestry, IMDb, one of the greatest things for sitting there watching a movie, and when you wonder, what other movie was that person in? Look it up. This idea of having two screens while you're doing it, I do it with the football, where I'm watching the football, but I've got the team list on the iPad at the same time. Booking.com, I've used that a few times. This cooking app where you've got recipes, Skype, and OneNote, which I think is the greatest app for taking notes around, and it's free. And the other great thing that makes it easier, there's less problem with viruses and malware, especially with the iPad that can only get things from the Apple Store. Apparently there's a need for antivirus with Android, but so I suppose you probably should put it on, but It's not the same as computer antivirus. It can't sort of scan the whole thing. But there are some good extra features that you get with it. And Windows has antivirus built in. But of course, even though you don't need antivirus, you can still be conned by an email, or you can still have your password stolen by getting conned by some charlatan on the internet. Photos and video. If you buy a high quality tablet, then you have high quality front and back cameras. If you buy a cheap tablet under $100, you may not even get both cameras. You may even get one that faces you. So it's well worth paying the extra for a quality tablet. The screen will work better, the touch purpose will work better, will be brighter, you'll have long battery life. I suppose it's all right to get a cheap one to just see if you like it, but in the long run, you'll be much happier with a quality tablet. Photo viewers, often you can edit the photo. These two programs, PiZap, that picture of the two girls where they put the border on and enhance the photo. That's a free app, but you have to pay for extra features. And the second one, Photo Funnier, that works on, there's even a web version of it that works on computers. There's an Android version, there's a Windows version, there's an iPad version. Same goes for PiZap. And you know, a lot of times people don't even want to edit their photos. You can take that many photos these days that if one photo's not any good, just use the other one or take another one. The need for editing photos seems to have disappeared. We seem to have hundreds of photos these days. The capabilities of these devices with music and books and movies is fantastic. You've got Apple App Store, you've got the green icons, Windows, and you've got Google Play. So all of these people want to rent or sell some media for your tablet. And because it's stored online by them, and even if you delete it, you can actually bring it back and look at it. You don't need the space and storage that you once needed on your device. Say with iTunes Movies, once you finish it, you could delete it, or you might have just rented it anyway. Or you could choose Spotify or Stan that I've got on the right there. Spotify's a music app that you can listen to music for free, and you can pay a bit more for extra features. And those things aren't stored on your device at all. So you don't need all the space. Same with Stan with movies. They're streamed to your device, and you just watch them there, and then you haven't had to store the movie at all. You can watch it again another time for just $10 a month. Of course, streaming things to your device does use up a lot of internet, so a lot of the times you may just want to use them with Wi-Fi. The Kindle app I use for books, mainly because if I use iBooks, that only works on Apple devices, whereas Kindle, you can use them on anything, Android and on Windows 8. And of course, PDF files. If you receive something in a PDF file, you can copy that to your device and just read it there if you've got a book or a document in PDF. Storage and ports. We used to need a lot of ports on things to connect devices up, but as things have wireless and there's cloud storage, you may not need the devices, all the things to attach to it anyway with cords. Google Drive, we use that at the ASCCA office, and we keep all of our information for use with courses, mainly because we can share it. And then other people who are running a course can look online and see who's been booked in with no trouble at all for free. And you get 15 gig storage. Dropbox has been used for quite a while to share things and store things outside of your device. So if you put things in Dropbox on your computer, you can see them on your tablet or phone without having to actually download the whole lot of them. The one that I use is OneDrive. I've got 187 gig now stored in OneDrive, although I don't store everything because a few sensitive files I don't put there. There's a copy on my computer. There's a copy on OneDrive. I also back up my computer version, so I don't have to trust Microsoft that they won't disappear all of a sudden or go broke. But one of the things I put on there is my photo collection, and my wife or my daughter and my son, they can all share that, and they can see any of our photos, any of our thousands of photos at any time without having to have a copy, which would just swamp their tablet or phone if they wanted to download them all. Plus, with an Apple phone, you can't really put on a USB stick or something like that. iCloud drives Apple's version. They've been a bit slow off the mark with that, and they really still haven't got it organised quite well enough. iCloud for a long time was just for Apple created items, but they're going to move it to store anything, but it's been a long time coming, really. In the centre of the screen is a great app that can transfer things, photo transfer app, that you can send your photos backwards and forwards from computers to the phone or the tablet without cables. Works much better than some other systems that are automated, because you can pick out the photos you actually want and send them. There's a version for a phone and there's a version for tablet. Once you've bought it once in the App Store, all the other ones are free. Like if you bought it for your phone, the tablet one is free. The computer version's free anyway. It works with Macs, it works with Windows, it works with Android, it works with Apple, it works with Mac, it works with iPhone, iPad. So I'd really recommend that. The things on the side, they're all made by SanDisk. They're ways of, especially devices that don't have ports like the Apple devices, how to get extra storage. The SD card up the top, 200 gig, I imagine a lot of devices don't support that, but sooner or later they would. The price of it's pretty dear. I don't suggest that you actually buy one, because they're probably going to be about $500 each, the 200 gig SD card, and it's got a lot of stuff on it if you lose it, and it's actually the price of it might be worth more than the stuff that's on it. 200 gig. That other little drive is wireless, the SanDisk one, and the one sticking out the bottom of the phone is a battery-powered drive that goes in iPhone, and it's also got a normal USB that will go in computers, and it's got an app that you can transfer material to your phone. It needs a battery because a lot of things won't connect to USB because it might use up the battery. So we're moving away from storing everything on your device, and you can put it on external things, send it wirelessly, or put it in the cloud. So I still use a computer for precision work with larger screen and mouse. There's me over there working on it. No, not really. I don't even know what that thing is that this fellow's working on. It might be a radar, or it might be a telephone, or it might be a wireless thing, or it might be just out of a science fiction movie. So if I want to do precision work and I want to edit photos very precisely, I'll be using my computer for that. If I want to use a mouse, if I want a larger screen so I can fit more things on the screen at once, copy and pasting. If I'm doing a lot of typing, the iPad or Android is pretty good with a small amount of typing like messages, but more than that, you would make too many mistakes. Getting things side by side. There are some tablets that can do that, Samsung Note and the Windows 8 tablets, but most of them can't. So to copy and paste is a bit of a tedious thing. Data that I don't want on the cloud. There are some sensitive things I don't want to put in the cloud that might have passwords on it or financial data. Storing the full set, you've got to have a full set of your materials somewhere so you can back it up yourself. Even though you can put things in the cloud, I would also have a full set somewhere so that if there's a problem with the cloud or you're not able to access it, if a company goes out of business, I'd still like to have my own set at home. So at home I've got a laptop that's got a full set of the data. I've got probably 80% saved in the cloud. I've also got a wireless backup that backs up the computer every hour. So I can't lose that much work. It's a wireless thing, so I don't never have to worry about plugging it in. And I've also got external drive that I back up to every time I think of it, and that one gets stored out in the garage. So I've got something in the cloud, on the computer, on a drive net on my desk, and out in the garage. I used to have another set at my mother's house, but I found that I would never back it up. You know, a year would go by, I must get that drive and back up to it. Programs without a tablet version. There are some programs that will probably never have a tablet version. They're too complex. I use Photoshop Elements. There is a Photoshop for tablet, but it doesn't have the precision. The way it does things like the clone tool is nowhere near as good as what you could do on your computer. Running a scanner, a lot of the times you could just photograph something. If you've got a decent camera or you've got a decent phone with a camera in it, taking a photo is usually pretty good. But sometimes I really want things scanned. Reading and ripping CDs and DVDs. Well, at the moment I'm putting all my CDs, music into iTunes, and I've been giving the CDs away. But I still need a drive to be able to put it onto my laptop. Strangely enough, my laptop doesn't actually have a drive, and I have to have an external drive. And just reading them, if I want to watch a DVD on my computer, I'll still need a drive. Some printing. My iPad can print to the printer at home, just wirelessly, if you've got an iPrinter, and some printers can print from Android, but some printing I still use from my computer. I hope you've enjoyed this little production. Thank you very much.